Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name's Ammo and I'm joined by my good pal Stuart Wilkie.
Hello.
And today we are talking about KSI Logan Paul 2. It's happening this Saturday. Stuart, I've never been more hyped for anything in my goddamn life.
That's very, very generous.
It's weird. It's weird because I am almost obsessed with this content. It's really odd. Like last year, same thing happened. Same thing with the Joe Weller thing. I have watched every single piece of content that has been released because the YouTube algorithm is so fine-tuned to any individual now.
Pushing it down your throat.
I've watched it whether it's KSI's channel, Logan Paul's channel, Sky Sports Boxing channel, Seconds Out, IFL TV, even William freaking Hill. I've seen it all, man. I've seen literally every bit of content and I am very excited for Saturday. Probably not going to stay up because it's 4 AM our time.
That's a bit of a shame, isn't it?
So planning on buying it, getting someone to like just double check the stream for me the next day, rewind it to the start of the fight, and then I'll watch it just to be on the super duper safe side.
Fair enough.
That's the plan.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so we are discussing, the title of this video is going to be the reasons why KSI will win this fight. But Stuart over here disagrees with me, so...
Well, yes. Well, it's kind of a head over heart situation because I prefer KSI, and I will also say that I'm not quite as obsessed as Ammo is about this whole thing, but at the same time, I can't avoid it, and I am sort of intrigued. So it is one of those things where I like KSI and I've followed him for quite a while, so I'm rooting for him, and I do think he's got a good chance to win the fight. But there's just that little.
I'm with you on that. My head is saying, in a way. Well, actually, we'll get onto that. So I think we should first of all go on to the advantages of both fighters that they have over the other.
Yep.
So
the tail of the tape.
Let's go for that first of all. So KSI, his big advantages going into this fight are cardio. So the stamina of the man. So to quote True Geordie, freaky stamina.
Freaky.
And I think that will lend to its advantage in the fight because,
especially now it's 10 rounds, isn't it?
No, it's still 6.
Is it what?
Still 6.
I swear they had more rounds. Oh no, it's because of the 10 rounds. Yeah, okay.
6 rounds.
It's still 6 rounds. Okay.
But we'll come on to Logan's because Logan's a lot bigger than he is now, and I know he's had a year to condition himself better. But whether it will be the case where he can last as many rounds, because this last fight round is a bit tentative from the start, a bit cagey from both fighters.
No, I thought Logan came out quite quick.
I was saying, but relatively speaking, whereas I think this time round, like Logan's going to come out in a Shannon Briggs type style, and I think Jage is going to up the intensity because I think he said before that he was scared of getting hit.
Yeah, well,
therefore, this time round he's not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, I think he'll be a bit more evasive this time and try not to just stand there with him. But
exactly.
I mean, they've both had a bit longer to train and they got another year under their belt. So
well, that's another thing. So another advantage KSI has, he's boxed for longer, and therefore you'd think that he's got a better boxing IQ. Not
to mention who he's boxing with, training-wise. I mean, love him or hate him, training with Floyd Mayweather can't be bad for your
It's not with him though, is it? It's
with his
Jeff
team.
Mayweather.
Yeah, with his team, it can't hurt your chances.
And that's the third big advantage. So you've got KSI has got the, Vidal Riley, in whom I trust implicitly in the YouTube scene, and the Mayweather boxing gym, because Jeff Mayweather trained Shannon Briggs.
Yes, I heard about this. He didn't take his belt off of him.
So Shannon Briggs left Jeff after he got his title, and then Jeff trained his next opponent and took the belt back. And that's always a good sign, because Shannon Briggs, I think in public he's not coming across as the most intellectual individual.
No,
he's coming across as let's go Shannon.
I'm hearing otherwise. That I think I watched True Geordie's podcast with Logan, Jake, and
Benny Minter? Oh no, sorry, that's the KSI.
He's like main guy, and he has basically come across, and he must have some knowledge, obviously, because he was a ridiculous.
He's a world heavyweight champion.
Like wasn't he like 37 or something KOs? Yeah. Or 33 of them in the first round. He clearly knows what he's talking about, but the Let's Go champ thing gets really old really quickly, unfortunately. But who's going to tell him that?
That's KSI's advantage. So your KSI has got the freaky stamina, the potentially better boxing IQ, and the fact that I think he's probably got a better team behind him.
Probably.
Overall, going into it.
I think for the boxing realm, I feel like he's got that.
So onto Logan Paul. So Logan Paul, there is a massive size advantage that Logan has over KSI, just naturally as a being. Like he's much bigger, much taller.
He's just got bigger frame,
reach, bigger frame, more muscle. And you'd assume more power. I know that KSI goes on about his Nigerian heritage, giving him the strength that will power him through this fight. But Logan's a beast, and you can't deny that.
He is, but like Vidal said, muscle doesn't equal power. Not always. Don't get me wrong, you can definitely transition to that, but it isn't a sure thing. You can see the most muscular people on the planet, and it's just sort of like a visual thing. Like you'll notice a lot of the world's strongest men, they don't have like biceps and triceps coming out of their fucking, arms. They're kind of like bigger lads with almost just like mass, essentially. It doesn't necessarily
Eddie
translate
Hall.
to that. Yeah, exactly.
Brian Shaw.
Yeah.
Robert Overs, that kind of you're going for the strongman physique.
The big lads,
I get
the big old like
but there's a lot of muscle behind that.
Yes, oh yeah, of course there is, but it doesn't necessarily translate to like, immediate power. So, well, he looked like he had a lot of power in the first fight, especially in the early rounds because he clocked him a few times.
And this is the thing, so I should come on to that later with the fact the jabbing first 2 rounds. Let's just go on to Logan's other point. So Logan's got the size advantage.
Yep.
Now JJ went on tour to support his album.
Oh yeah,
with
him and Randolph.
With Randolph.
Yep.
And that was a lot of time out. I know that he's training a little bit here and there, but it's not going to be the same as having a regimented training program, which I think Logan was sticking to at the time.
Fair.
So potentially their boxing IQ could have leveled up.
Par.
So, if that's the case, then it will be a very tricky fight for JJ. And everyone's saying that Logan is the favourite going into this fight.
Yeah.
Which
I also
I'm not sure.
I think that might have something to do with the fact it's in America as well. That it's the hometown feeling, isn't it? Although that's a bit strange though, because I'm not sure how the crowd's going to react, because obviously he will be the hometown favourite, as it were, but JJ does have fans in the US. Like he got a lot more cheers in LA than Logan
at
did
the press
in the
conference.
UK.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even close.
Even in the open workout today/yesterday, it seemed that there were more KSI chants than there were Logan.
Which is not surprising.
So,
Despite the, I feel like Logan Paul has done quite well in rehabilitating his image. Considering he's still the guy that filmed the dead body. But I think he's done a good job of changing that.
I was in a big Logan Paul hate phase last year, but this time round, I don't say I like him.
No, but you at least understand.
I don't hate him as much as I used to, because I saw Jonathan Pye recently, the political stand-up.
Yeah, he's great.
And he made a good point in his stand-up that no one really allows for redemption anymore.
It's cancel culture again.
But it's actually nice to see that, especially it was on True Geordie's podcast actually, seeing how Logan has somewhat matured, and he seems to have he understands his mistakes and he's learned from it, and it's nice to see that, and he has grown from it for sure. So I don't hate him as much as I used to, and in a weird way, kind of respect him a little bit.
We were saying based on the amount of money they're both going to get from this fight.
40 million each reported.
Yeah,
Look at Ching back on CBBC.
That's a great show. I've got to look that
clip here right now. But it's ka-ching for both of them. But anyway,
I can't hate that.
Back to the second point for Logan. So he has not been on tour and he's been consistent with his training, so that could really play a part. And the third point I have for Logan is that now he has had a year to condition himself better, because in the first fight, as you know, he gassed out after round 2. Everyone knows this. I mean, we both think that KSI won the fight 4-2.
I feel that it was the first 2 rounds went to Logan, and then he barely lifted his hands up from round 3 onwards.
And it was just clinch.
Yeah.
So it was definitely, we thought KSI won that fight overall. But I see why the draw was given, basically. I understand why.
Yeah, because they want to make more money.
Exactly. Yeah. It is what it is. But we can see why they gave the decision that they gave.
Yes, and also let's be fair, like judging in boxing and combat sports in general is very
a bit iffy. It's a bit iffy.
I don't understand how they don't just hire former boxers and like MMA guys to do it, because that would make so much more sense.
Who are these people that do trainers and stuff?
Literally nobody's. Like I know it sounds weird, but like they barely have any like combat experience. I remember like Joe Rogan talks about it all the time, about how some of the judges that give really random ass scores, they have literally no combat experience.
So how's that become a thing?
It's like they're kind of like USADA like based, and they're basically like given like by the commission.
That's really weird.
You'd think it'd be very strange.
Anyway,
I don't know.
So in that year, Logan's had to condition himself. Has he reached a point that he won't gas out after the first few rounds now? Because he has put on a lot more mass now. So even if he has conditioned himself a bit better, the weight gain that he's not the weight gain, but the muscle gain that he's got,
you think will it even it out?
Will it level out again? So will history repeat itself? Is the question.
Well, I think we definitely know that JJ has the speed advantage of the two, because he's just a shorter and leaner.
Although Logan's jab was pretty flipping quick.
Yeah,
but again, it's bigger. So
it's going to be interesting. Like, and that's the reason why I've just got that voice in the back of my head that's saying I think Logan might edge. I don't think there'll be a finish. I don't think there'll be a knockout.
Despite all the Eddie Hearn rhetoric of 10 hands gloves, no head guards, someone's getting knocked out in this.
I mean, that's how you hype up a fight. I just look. Of course, it could happen. I mean, like,
more chance.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Oh, definitely. There's it goes through the roof in terms of probability compared to the first fight. But yeah, they're just. I still think it's too early for that. Like boxers tend to be like grown up from like way younger than they were in terms of getting that knockout power. And also, more often than not, these people that actually have this knockout power, it's a gift. Like people like
Nigerian blood, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair enough. But like people like Deontay Wilder, of course, not knocking his boxing ability whatsoever, but he has just ungodly
it's a Midas
power,
punch, basically, isn't it?
Like you can't teach that. You could literally train day in day out strength and conditioning from birth, and you still might not be able to hit harder than a Francis Ngannou in the UFC or a Deontay Wilder. They just have this big, ridiculous knockout power.
Imagine if Deontay Wilder fought Francis Ngannou.
I'd love that fight. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
anyway,
that would be fun.
So how we see the fight going now is the question. So I've thought about this for a while, and I used to think, I was thinking in my head for Logan Paul and my heart for JJ.
That's me.
Because that's the same as you, yeah. So I was thinking that was going to be the case. But the more I've seen the footage and just watched literally everything, like I've said, the more I'm thinking that...
JJ looks good in the warm-up, so I will say, with his little...
It's more the demeanour. Like, I know it's Logan Paul, I know he's, more for he's just more animated than KSI would be, but I just don't...
He was embarrassing in the press conference. I realise that he's catering to his crowd, but it's just
it's more the last few days. It's more like the open workout. It's more the 40 days out stuff that they released recently. Yeah. It's that footage that I'm looking at, and I know Logan's more animated than KSI, but they've both got this calm demeanour. Logan's for me just seems less real, more fake. But it might just be because the persona that he has just has that sort of way about it. Whereas
maybe always trying not to give as much weight. I mean,
KSI is so relaxed to it. I know that's part of his persona, like because he's super chill. That's just his personality. Yeah. But it seems so much so this time. Like he knows that he's got this, because I think KSI will weather those first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Because I think he's got the knowledge. Like I said, the whole Vidal Riley Mayweather combo. I just think they're preparing for this initial onslaught in a Shannon Briggs-esque style.
That's it. When you're learning from the best defensive boxers, coach and staff, then you're probably going to learn a thing about rolling from punches and evading a lot more damage.
I think because of that, and
there's smaller gloves.
Yeah,
so it's easier to dodge. Yeah. And no headgear, so you don't have this big clunking thing on your head.
But because of that, I think JJ is going to definitely make it through the first few rounds, the onslaught. And because I think the intensity is going to be like much quicker than it was in the first fight last year, I think Logan, and like I said, Logan's got a lot more muscle to him now. I just can't see, I can easily see Logan just getting even gassing out a little bit, or just getting a bit more tired than JJ, whereas JJ's his conditioning's so good that he'll just keep his power consistent throughout the fight.
Yeah, I don't see KSI gassing, I'll say that much.
But I can't see him getting knocked down in the first 2 rounds either, and that's when Logan I think is going to win. But after round 3 onwards, it's JJ's to, to victor. And that's how I see the fight going. I know that your head and all the bookies are saying Logan's the favourite, and understandably so, because he looks so much more imposing.
If he can at least slow it down, I don't think he should do the Shannon Briggs thing and try and knock him out. I think he should try to steady pace and with the big power. I think that's where he will win. I think his punches looked like they did more damage. Like as much as JJ was swinging harder, his jab and his overhand right and what have you, they looked like they might not have had an effect. Like JJ will say, it slid off my face, it didn't do anything to me. That's not what a judge sees. Yeah. When a judge sees a punch, it doesn't matter how much it hits, but if a judge sees a punch in your face and your entire head goes back and you have to take a step, that looks like you've been hit bad. Yeah. You'll see it in the UFC, you'll see it in boxing. If someone gets cracked and you go back, that's oh shit, he's rocked.
Speaking of punches, so counteracting what I'm saying, the first fight, obviously head guards, 12 ounce gloves. If JJ gets hits with it, because JJ said that Logan doesn't have much power, and he could be telling the truth, and I believe that he is, but it's Logan with the 10 ounce gloves, with those jabs. If he gets hit by those shots,
I don't think he's going to be saying the same thing.
He's going to feel it. He's really going to feel it, because Logan, you can't say he's got no power. He's definitely got power behind him.
Yeah.
So that's the dangerous point in the match for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think JJ can weather the storm. And after that, it goes on technical boxing ability. And
It's a very intriguing fight because they're not like your professional fighters.
Yeah.
I know this is a pro fight as it were, but because it's not like say an AJ versus Ruiz or something like that. At least even though I know Ruiz knocking AJ out was a big shock, but you can still there was still a reason why you'd say, oh yeah, but Andy Ruiz, he's an established guy, he's got X amount of knockouts, he does have that gritty style. You can at least make these two are kind of, despite the fact they've already fought, they're still relative unknowns because it's like a year apart, and they've got completely different styles. And despite the fact we've already seen them fight, this fight can go like it genuinely could like end in a knockout. It could end in a knockout in the first 30 seconds. You have it has a complete unpredictability about it, and that's why I find it appealing.
Oh, it's so appealing. I'm so obsessed.
It's intriguing.
It's so weird. Like,
it's intriguing.
Yeah, so I got like hooked back into boxing because I took a while out from boxing for a while when it got a bit boring with the Klitschko years.
Yeah.
And then the meteoric rise of AJ seemed to coincide with the YouTube boxing scene, and both of those together has now led me to watching a lot of pay-per-views on Sky Sports Box Office.
Fair enough.
Watching Dillian White and Derek Chisora, something I never imagined doing before, pre-AJ, pre-KSI, going into this YouTube boxing scene.
Yeah, I've always had a bit of an on-off relationship with boxing because I respect the sport. I like a lot of boxers, and I do watch a big fight. I enjoy a good pay-per-view here and there, but I'm much more of an MMA guy over boxing, just because I just think I've never liked how I was saying to you earlier. I've never liked how they basically handpick this next big guy. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be the next big guy, like Anthony Joshua winning the gold medal. I absolutely adore him. He's fantastic. But the fact they basically go, okay, he should be the next big thing. He should be the next big thing. We'll give him a guy that has only got 2 knockouts in X amount of time, and it's like, well, you're just feeding him jobbers.
Yeah.
No offense to them, I'm sure they're great in their own right, but if you're going up against somebody who's genuinely one of the best, why don't you put them against? But it's because you've got to protect the records, and you've got to build them to 20-0 or 30-0 and 40-0.
WBC, man, the minute with Dillian White, it is absolutely shocking.
It's maddening, and like, that's the reason. Like, with MMA, like, love it or hate it, they say, oh, you're the 10th ranked person in the world, you're on a 3-fight win streak, cool, let's go put you up against number 8 who's also on a 2-fight win streak, let's see who knocks out. One of you's got to lose, or there are draws of course, but something's got to give.
But reining back to the YouTube boxing match.
Yes, it's not
highly anticipated next Saturday.
Yes.
Or this Saturday even. So how do you see the fight going then, Stuart, based on what I've said? Do you agree, or do you think that it's going to go Logan to edge
I think if Logan's smart, I don't think he'll do the Shannon Breathe thing of like come out like all guns blazing. I think he'll go for it, obviously, because you've got the most energy at the start of the round, of course, at the start of the fight, excuse me. But I think he's got to be cleverer than that. And if I'm honest, the judges are going to see those big punches land, and I think he's going to edge it on points. I hope I'm wrong because I'm rooting for JJ, but I do just have this feeling that it's going to be a close-knit fight. And similar to like in an MMA fight, if a fight is close and somebody steals a takedown at the end of the round, that could be the thing that sticks in the judge's head. Like that one big snapback of JJ's head every other round. That's how I see the fight going personally.
Cool. Right, should we
I hope I'm wrong.
Should we end it there?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, what's your prediction?
Oh, like I said, look at the title of this video. I think JJ's.
Yeah, but how? KO or points?
Oh, I see. Sorry. I've not thought about that. So I think
all this pressure. Why he's gonna win?
Okay, I think it'll be. I guess I'm hoping for knockout like any boxing match that I watch because one, love knockouts, and two, the rhetoric that I've been given is always promised a knockout. But I just see this going later and later, and I think it will be a technical knockout, probably around 5 or 6 to JJ.
Fair enough.
Okay, so
if it's another draw, I'm not watching the third fight. I don't give a shit. So.
If it is a draw and it comes to London, I was gonna go to my.
I like this, but if it comes
but
here,
some goddamn friend of mine had a wedding on the same day, and I couldn't therefore go. I am going to that one because it will be in like Wembley next time, surely. Or
they'd probably sell that out.
They would sell that out.
Yeah, they probably would.
Or maybe in Tottenham's new stadium, that'd be good. Go on, let's go to that. Get some brewed beer that's brewed on the side, that'd be great. But yeah, that's how things are gonna go. So, we'll find out this Saturday what happens, but yeah, until then, let's wait and see. Okay everyone, that is our thoughts on KSI Logan Paul 2. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe. Until next time, KSI, best of luck, repping Team UK. Let's do this, baby.
Woo!
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing here, but fuck it.